think a father complained about that, or was it one of the females that say, "Hey, you know what? Let's appreciate the men in our lives," or was it a dad that was like, "Man, they're not giving us no love"? Because I'm like, as opposed to they never really celebrated them, and now all of a sudden everybody's about Father's Day or Christmas.
I think I mean I'm not sure for I'm not sure if this is accurate, but I believe it was the fathers who probably complained about not getting any love on Father's Day. Um,
That would make
I mean,
sense.
I joke around with stuff like that too. I still do because it's still not celebrated just like a Mother's Day celebration is here.
Y'all don't go through labor,
So,
okay? So y'all could never, no matter
mhm.
how hard y'all bringing home this bacon, okay, the way our body's unshaped, reshaped, and this big old head gotta funnel through, and we gotta push. Listen, that you guys can never compete. You guys can never win that competition on that side.
Mm-mm.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Eye to Eye. Hope you guys have been well. I am here today with Mr. Gilbert. Yay. Say hi to
Hi, y'all.
say hi to the fans, hi to our followers, hi to our audience, the people who likes to share, comment, and have subscribed. So hi guys. We thank you so much for following us and continue to give us ideas and continue to give us the love. Right back at you. Jess is not here tonight, so it's me and Mr. Gilbert. And today we are going to talk about Father's Day because that's coming up. And fathers are important. And I hope, you know, we're not having daddy issues, right? So today we brought in Gilbert, who's also a dad, and he's going to tell us what it's like to be a dad. As a matter of fact, Gilbert, did you decide you just wanted to be a dad, or did you just happen to be a dad?
Well, I happen to be a dad. It wasn't a decision. It was my younger years that I became a father. So it wasn't a decision that was made consciously, but it turned out to be an amazing
An
decision that
amazing
I had
thing.
to make.
You
I have
see
an
that?
amazing daughter.
Oh, it's a daughter you have. Oh, daddy's
I have
little.
an
Oh my
amazing
gosh.
daughter.
Yes. So we're
Yeah,
gonna talk about daddy issues,
she's
especially for the girls, because Gilbert, we have absent fathers, and then people get
Mhm.
messed up from that. But we're gonna come right back to that. But anyways, we just want to give a shout out to all the dads out there in the world, in the community, to give you some love because some dads feel like they are not appreciated as they really
Mhm.
should, and some dads they
Mhm.
know they don't deserve to be appreciated. But we're gonna give the love to all the dads anyways. Happy Father's Day. I hope this day reinforces the reason that you are here because you have a little one to take care of or be a role model for. So we hope you enjoy this Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. So Gilbert, you got any plans for Father's Day?
On Father's Day, I plan on being a father. That is,
That's a good one.
I'm gonna try to, well, not that I'm gonna try to. I plan on working, so I'm gonna try to bring home some bacon. That's my fatherly duty that I'm gonna do on Father's Day.
Ooh, he is gonna bring home the grease, y'all. That's what's up. So now let me ask you this. So was okay, was your father around? I guess I need to start with that first. When you
Yeah, my father has always been around, still till today. Married to my mom and still a big part of my life.
wow, that's great. See, we have people like you who have that role model that's been around. And so let me ask you this. Do you think like your life would have been different if your dad was not in the picture? And would it have been different for like the worse or for the better?
I'm not sure if would have been for the worse or the better.
Mm.
I have friends who have not had their father around, and they turn out to be phenomenal
Mm-hmm.
people.
That's true.
Um, so I'm not sure if it would be for the better or for the worse. I do know it would be different because I'll be missing certain things that I grew up with, which would in turn make me a different person. But I'm not sure if it would be for the worse or for the better. But I know having a father in your life definitely has a positive influence, positive impact on your life. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you would have a negative impact on your life just because they're not there. There would be some challenges that would be a little harder to deal with without a father. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you would be in a worse off position. Not
True.
necessarily.
True. So, okay, since your dad was around, I gotta ask you this. So, was your dad like one of those Haitian poppies, or was your dad like one of those hardcore Haitian men that was what I say is what goes on in this house?
Pretty much.
Ah!
That man. As we get older, we kind of learn to appreciate them a little bit more.
True.
But he was one of those very disciplinary type of father figures who, you have to do what he says. Uh, it's his rule when you living in his house. So you have to listen to your father. You have to listen to your elder. You have to respect him. And he gave me a couple of cents he won baton a few times. That's
That's how they
facts.
show the
He
love.
just yeah, man. It's I don't know. I don't know how to look at that. Yeah, I think that is a way of showing love. Uh, um, I don't know if that's trauma talking here,
Oh.
but I mean, I think because
Here for
as
you,
a father
Gilbert.
myself,
We're here
I
for
never, I never had to get physical with my daughter, never ever.
wow.
Um,
See,
uh,
the girls.
but I did grow up in a different time and also a different culture, so to speak, because I grew up in the American culture, whereas my dad grew up in the Haitian culture in the 50s and in the 60s, I should say, 70s. So it's a different culture based on the time and also the region that he was brought up in. So, my dad is a very tough father. Papa Haitien, they're very very could be very strict. Um, but
And
that's I feel like that's a lot of Haitian parents,
a lot of
Haitian dads in particular.
and in today's day and age, I guess we could consider them toxic parents as opposed to being tough parents, like the my way or the highway. So they're not really
Yeah,
children.
yeah. I would I would probably try to use a different word. He wasn't toxic. They're not toxic. They're very loving. Toxic is when you abusive, whether it be verbally or physically, like abusive. There's a whooping that is there to teach you a lesson and discipline you, and then there's abuse. Toxic, I feel like that's the abuse side of things. I don't think they're
Let me ask you
toxic.
this. Let me ask you this, Gilbert. Have your dad ever said to you, "It's gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you"? Like, you know.
He never said that, but I know he would feel that to a certain extent. But he has never said that. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like, like, as far as the communications, when it comes to Haitian fathers and their sons or daughters, there's not a lot of communications there. It's kind of like you do what I say. I'm the parent, and you just have to follow what I tell you to do. But not there was no toxicity in the relationship. It was
Oh,
more so harsh love
harsh
than
love.
it is. toxic. There's no toxicity at all,
Okay, so
actually.
let me ask you this. Okay, so I know you said you grew up in a different time zone, timeline.
Hmm.
Uh, what did you do for like Father's Day for your dad? Like I know up here, kids probably do like drawings. You know, they have dances, sports. You know, daddy, daughter. No, dad,
Yeah.
father. Yeah, daddy, daughter. What am I saying? Daddy, daughter dance. You know, father
Yeah.
picnics. So for your dad, what did you do when you were like a child? Did you guys actually acknowledge him in the house and be like, "Bun fat papa"?
Yeah, yeah. So I have a large family. I have a large family. I have seven siblings,
Wow.
including myself, is eight of us. So there's always been, and I'm number five in that line. Um, so there's been examples of what you do when it comes to Father's Day. A simple card would be what we do. An acknowledgement of our father. Sometimes we've done dinners, we've taken them out, which is very common, I want to say, as far as the level of celebration that we do for fathers or lack of, is very common. So it was just a simple birthday card, Father's Day card. We didn't
Okay.
get them flowers because that's more reserved for mom. But you
Wait,
know, we'll
wait.
get them
So
like a simple
Gilbert.
Father's Day gift, socks or tie, things like that. No,
Okay.
no, nothing
Wait.
crazy.
So everything is sounding like Americanized. Are you all born here? Were you all born here?
No, one of us was born here. All of us were born in Haiti, with the exception of my younger brother.
Okay, so I
Um,
think my question was more directed to that time frame when you were much younger and in
in
Haiti.
Haiti,
Yeah.
uh, you know, there wasn't not. So I have a pretty interesting background. Real quickly, I'll just say this, so kind of explain the lack of Father's Day experiences that I had at that age. Uh, when I was born, my dad, when my mom was pregnant with me, my dad, just like a lot of other Haitians, seek better opportunities elsewhere. So he went to live in French Guyana for 7+ years. So when my mom was pregnant with me, I didn't meet my dad until I was 7 years old.
Oh.
So those experiences of the gifts and the celebration on Father's Day, I didn't quite experience that. I did have my uncle in Haiti who kind of took on the role of being a father figure to me. He didn't have any children. So anything that we did, I didn't get to experience much of Father's Day in Haiti. I experienced it more so here in the States. So there wasn't a lot that was celebrated. I don't really recall much of any celebration that happened while I was in Haiti. It's really more so here. And also think about timing. Father's Day is now being more celebrated than it was 10, 20, 15, 30, 40 years ago. As time progressed, we celebrate and acknowledge fathers more because it's an important role in a young person's life. So we're acknowledging that now more so than before.
Do you think
Whereas
a father
before,
complained
we
about
didn't
that?
really do much.
Do you think a father complained about that, or was it one of the females that say, "Hey, you know what? Let's appreciate the men in our lives," or was it a dad that was like, "Man, they're not giving us no," because I'm like, as opposed to they never really celebrated them, and now all of a sudden everybody's about Father's Day. Or
I think I mean I'm not sure for I'm not sure if this is accurate, but I believe it was the fathers who probably complained about not getting any love on Father's Day. Um,
that would make
I mean,
sense.
I joke around with stuff like that too. I still do because it's still not celebrated just like a Mother's Day celebration is here.
Y'all don't go through
Uh,
labor,
so,
okay? So y'all could never, no matter
mhm.
how hard y'all bringing home this bacon, Okay, the way our body's unshaped, reshaped, and this thing, this big old head, gotta funnel through, and we gotta push. Listen, that you guys can never compete. You guys can never win that competition on that side.
Mm-mm. Oh,
But
for
shout
sure.
out to y'all for giving y'all seeds, though.
We
Y'all gave
acknowledge
the
that for
seed.
sure.
Y'all did give the seed. Y'all planted in. So, you guys get your little.
Yes,
But
and having
there's a
a
rise.
father figure is important.
Yeah, I've seen a rise of single fathers around. Like that's a
Hmm.
thing. I'm like, are you really taking care of these kids all by yourself with no woman? And it's so shocking to me because I'm like you hear it, but it's like it's almost hard to fathom because most kids usually stay with their moms. And some of these dads, they're just not with the mom anymore. It's not like because she passed away or she's away in the army or or anything like that. She's on drugs. It's just it didn't work out. They kept their kids. I'm like, that's a
Yeah,
shock. Like I have
yeah, it's a common thing. More so now. I myself had a stint where I was taking care of my daughter. Not that I was taking care of my daughter. I don't want to say it like that. Like her mom wasn't taking care of her too, but my daughter was living with me for almost for about 3 years actually. So that the single fatherhood experience of having your child, you bring him with you when you go certain places and being the father figure. You go to dinner, you bring your kid, and there's no wife there, there's no girlfriend there. It's just you and your daughter, you and your son, you and your kids as a father. I've had part of that. That's been something that I did when I was younger, when my daughter was younger. So a lot of fathers are
look
doing
at
that
you,
now more
Gilbert.
than before,
Let
you
me give
know?
you a shout out.
So
Shout out. So yeah, shout out
thank
for that for holding down the fort while mom was unavailable for the time being. And also I want to give a shout out to D. Well, I'm gonna call him D for Daniel too, who's behind the scene. We got like two dads on
you.
here, y'all. So give him some love.
Yeah,
Happy.
D's an amazing father, man.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing like he's pushing that little kid. Like he's like, yes, that's gonna be my next superstar. Listen, if he makes it, that's our superstar. Okay. Okay, I've liked all his videos. Well, most of them, some of them. Okay, let me not lie. But I
He has a
definitely
lot of videos.
he's making superstars. Okay, he's doing his
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, for
But
sure. He's like the
yeah,
King
so
Richard, you know?
he be helping us out too. He's also part of this team. Okay, behind the scenes, helping with the edits and whatnot. So like for guys like him, as a matter of fact, how do you think they will be affected if they don't have their dads around to actually push them to do better? Because I know some kids, they don't have their dads helping them with anything, not homework, not
Mhm.
sports, you know what I mean, like just nothing, but they're not absent. The father's actually in the house, right?
Yeah,
So he's just
yeah.
like a deadbeat, how they call him. So how do you feel like a child who probably has so much talent, so much hope for a future, like how can
Mhm.
that affect him if he has that style of a dad? Like, is there any way to, I don't know, maybe adjust from those types of dad who are like absent, but they're really present, absent? How would you call them? Absent?
Well, there's different type of parenting.
True, true. But I'm talking about like the ones that may have like that effect from your childhood that may bring up trauma to the point where you now as a young son don't know how to be a dad to your own kids because of the fact that your dad just later on and did nothing, did not help the mom, did not come to your events, did you know what I'm saying, like did not really stand out and bring that leadership role in the house that you could model to. So
There, you know, it's hard to say, right? Because again, I grew up with my father and mother in the house. I don't. I think for me, as a father, and I see how I am as a dad, and I see my role as a father, um, when it comes to raising a child. For me, in particular,
mhm.
I'm the disciplinary guy. I am the fun, goofy father. I am.
Mm,
I'm super easygoing. Hey, do whatever you want to a certain extent. And I educate my daughter a lot, making wise, smart decisions,
nice.
giving her the freedom to make her own decisions with guidance, of course. So I'm the disciplinary guy. I force her to do things that she may not necessarily see that's a good thing that she wants to, that's something that she wants to do, but later on in life she'll like, ah, thank God you made me do that, Dad.
I'm so happy you're
Um,
saying that because I know for especially the young women that if their dads are not around to tell them they love them, they're gonna find somebody else who really don't, but they're saying that, and that's how they're gonna get screwed up, right? They don't really love them, but
there is that aspect of the missing father in the household when in particular uh, girls, women um, who grew up without a father figure tend to fall for guys who are not the best for them because they're seeking that acceptance and that I'm not sure what it is exactly that they're looking for, but it's something that's missing that they're trying to find in a guy. Uh,
Mhm.
s- and it doesn't always it usually doesn't turn out to be something that's very good because they fall for a lot of pitfalls. They may be
Right.
dealing with the wrong guy, or a guy that's just terrible for them and their
Yeah.
growth. So there's that aspect of not having a father figure in your life. Like I
Yeah.
said, like I as a father, I force my daughter to be tough. You know, like I force her to be tough. Um, I teach her how to, I'm teaching her about cars. I'm teaching her
Mhm.
how to, change a
Wow.
tire.
Wow.
So that way you can be independent and do things on your own and not be relying on a guy to help you
Oh,
out
I
to
love it.
do
I love it.
normal things.
Yeah. And because
So
you are in the
having a
picture.
father figure makes a difference in a young woman's life in particular.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
absolutely. And because you are in the picture, it also means that nobody can absolutely mess with her because she's gonna know what's up. The others whose fathers are
hmm Give them
abusive
the
or
confidence.
neglectful, that's the one.
Yeah,
That's the one.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It left, like subconsciously in your son's or your daughter's mind, she knows that she has me to rely on. That kind of like that kind of gives her a little boost of confidence
Mhm.
to speak her mind clearly to a guy or to someone who may be trying to take advantage of her. I give her a lot of confidence, and she's tough. She's mentally tough as well as physically tough because you don't want anybody to take advantage of you. I don't want anybody to take advantage of my daughter. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna teach you how to defend yourself physically,
Yeah.
and
And
give
you know what's also
that
good?
give her a boost of confidence too.
I was gonna say the opposite of that is that low self-esteem. And I think like when you get into adult relationships, they keep screwing it around. And men for some reason can sense that too, that this person
Hmm.
daddy
For
issues
sure.
because maybe they're clingy, they're needy,
Yeah, yeah.
you're looking to fill that void or whatever was missing. Because it's
Hmm.
like maybe in life you're not supposed to skip steps, right? In your
Hmm.
adult life, you're gonna try to find that missing piece that was supposed to have happened in your childhood. So if it's like
Hmm.
missing love or affection from your
Hmm.
parents, when you get older, you may seek wrong relationships or toxic relationships
Absolutely.
to make up for it.
Absolutely.
Dads,
In
listen
my days
up.
of dating, I've experienced women who were seeking that
Validation.
guy that kind of give them that validation, that father figure, and you can tell, like, if I was a bad person, I can definitely
Ooh,
run their lives.
that hurts.
I
Ow.
can literally run their lives because they're seeking validation. So if I was a bad dude, I
Mm.
can tell them to do something that just benefits me and doesn't benefit them at all.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's yeah, I see it. I see it, and I'm not attracted to those women because I like a strong, independent woman. But I've
I'm
seen
glad.
those women who are seeking validation from guys, and they just kind of like allow guys to really manipulate them to certain level that could be
Yeah,
just destructive
it's
for them.
definitely from that childhood trauma. But I just want to point out that I'm glad that you did not take advantage of these women, because sometimes I do feel like, how are men having daughters and still mistreat other women? It don't make any sense. Would you like for like another guy to come and do this to your daughter? No. Then why
No.
on earth would you, go all out and like mistreat them in that sense? Even though the female, perhaps, like you said, you could see it, so they're allowing it, right? But sometimes just because
Yeah, I mean, it's both. It's on both ends. It's on both ends, meaning that so that guy that we were talking about,
well, I'm not sure what happened to our good friend here, Mr. Gilbert. Maybe he'll jump back on, soon to be having an internet issue. So I'm just gonna say, guys, dads out there, for the love of humanity, please, please, please speak with your kids, show them some love, give them affection, give them, validation, so that they don't have to go get it from a perfect stranger who is going to mistreat them. And I see that we have our good friend Gilbert back. Gilbert,
I'm
welcome.
sorry about that.
You know what? Since you come back, we are about to run out of time too. So I just wanted to ask you this last question. Like, what advice do you have for like a young dad who doesn't know how to be a dad and maybe did not have a dad in his life? Like, how can he maneuver this lifestyle or this, I don't want to say obligation, but like this responsibility of fatherhood?
I have one simple advice, and it's very simple. It's to just be there, like just really just be there, and that could mean they're sitting on the couch on their phone while you sitting on the other end of the couch on your phone. That's not the best scenario. You don't both want to be on your phone, but we live in a modern time, a modern era where everyone has a cell phone, access to any type of information, news, entertainment, what have you. But just simply being there makes a big difference because sometimes conversations happen in the midst of just silence between the two of you for maybe an hour, minutes, uh, strike up a certain conversation because you are just simply there. Hey, Dad, what do you think about this? I was thinking about joining this club. I was thinking about joining these type of programs, taking these classes. What do you think? uh it opens, it makes room, it leaves room to have open dialogue with you and your significant other by simply just being there. It doesn't mean you have to do anything necessarily, just being there, being in the same house, being in the same space makes a big difference. It has made a big difference in my relationship with my daughter by just simply being there, being in silence, and sometimes that's all you need to do. You won't have to do much else. Just simply being there will make room for a lot of other positive things to happen between you and your son or daughter. Really.
That's true, because being present means you are avoiding so many scenarios later down the road. Because I've seen a lot of kids go to jail simply because a dad wasn't present, right?
Mm-hmm.
A
Yeah.
lot of kids
Yeah.
turn into drugs, gang, simply because a dad wasn't present. So that's really good advice to just.
Father figure gives you some confidence. It definitely gives you confidence. You find people without confidence, usually, not always, usually it's because of a lack of fathers in the house. I've had a lot of confidence from my father being in my life, and I instill a lot of confidence in my daughter. She's a go-getter. She's a leader. She's a natural leader, and that's simply by giving them a voice and validation that their voice, their opinion matters. Let them have their own opinion. Let them create their own opinion. You don't have to uh, tell them what to think, but more so tell them how to think. And then you'll find that they have a lot of confidence. They develop leadership skills, and there's nothing better than that, especially when it comes to a woman, because I have a young young lady who's a young woman. She's 22 years old, gonna be 23 in September.
Woo! Whoa!
So, she's just really just being there, man, give them a hell of a lot of confidence that is necessary to tackle inequities in modern society that would put them in a disadvantage.
Yeah, because once you have the confidence, you could move the world. So it's the lack of confidence that stops us in our tracks a lot of time, because then it
For
builds
sure.
fear, and then all you
Absolutely.
start seeking is just the wrong relationship because that's what your energy is going to start attracting. So there's
Hmm.
definitely hope too if you've had that relationship that wasn't positive that is making you stem into just I don't know negative to the next negative and then the next negative. Like there are simple steps that we can validate ourselves, right? We don't need to wait for a guy to do so. We don't need to. It would be nice if the dad was around, but if the person is not, at this point I guess you can accept that this person is not present. I am still present. So I need
Certainly.
to show up for myself. What would I do if I wasn't
Hmm.
there? There's a reason that he couldn't be here. And sometimes are not necessarily not in the picture because they were bad. Some probably just died.
Hmm.
Some are sick.
Hmm.
Some are in prison,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Some are away in
Hmm.
the military for I don't know how long. Some are, who knows?
Yeah.
So
Right. And I feel for all those people, man, who doesn't have their fathers in their life, not because of the father's decision to not be there, because of uncontrolled circumstances, as you said, sickness, health issues, jail slash prison, which could be that they had a certain level of control in that jail prison stance. But if they're not there, they're not there, and it's hard to just assign the blame to the father for not being in the kid's life. Sometimes it's the mother that doesn't encourage the dad to be in the kid's life. So
true.
there's a lot of different reasons as to why fathers are not there. But I would certainly encourage
So
every father out there to be involved for sure.
yeah, let me give this shout out to the people watching right now. Please drop a comment if your dad is in the picture. And if he's not in the picture, how have you coped with that factor? So we would love to hear from you. And I guess on that note, we're just going to again give a shout out to all the positive role models that are in your lives because maybe a person is giving you that love and support and they are not your blood dad. You know what I mean? They're like your mentor that passed on to be your dad. So we want to give a shout out to all of those because anybody who's positive is going to reinforce the family, therefore the community and society, and thereby bringing more confident people up in this world. So we want to give a shout out to for the dads who are in the picture, staying strong and pushing through and being consistent in their kids'
Mhm.
lives and daily pushing them to be their best version of themselves. So shout out to all these dads, and I hope you guys will enjoy this Father's Day coming up and that you are going to
Yes.
hug any male figure in your life to give them
So
that appreciation and validation that they know they've been working so hard to get from us. So with all that love,